Are you getting caught up in the small time frames of trading? Do you need a macro outlook so you can take a deep breath and stop getting emotional? Let's break it down for you like I do every single Friday. I'm going to give you the macro technical analysis of Bitcoin, total, the NASDAQ, S&P, gold, and more. Let's have some fun. Let's break it down and show you why you shouldn't be so emotional, and you should be able to look at this once a week and see where the market's likely going to go. So far, we're here on Bitcoin. If you remember my last update last week, just real quick, this is me here, right? I'm going to be talking about that tiny time frame from the 1 minute all the way up to the 1 hour. Right now, we're just looking for the daily to not get back inside this pattern. We're looking for shoulder, head, right shoulder. One little tip I'm going to give you is you're looking for the 1 hour not to lose the. So if we skip to that idea, right, you can say I'm talking about the daily making an inverted head and shoulder. Let's flip to the daily just for a split second. You can see that's exactly what happened. Shoulder, head. We did get the right shoulder with the break to the upside. We traded this very, very well in my trading group because we were ready for it, because we go over this macro analysis every single week. Missing this analysis, I'm telling you, there's so many gains to see when you can see where you're going on the bigger picture. So the first thing we're going to look at is the monthly time frame for Bitcoin. And what I like is it's still in this beautiful rising wedge that can break to the upside. This rising wedge has a very, very large target from wick to wick, and it would break out and go parabolically to the upside. We're looking somewhere at $184,000 Bitcoin, even higher possibly BTC, right? Might have actually a little more of a trajectory like this. And when you take out the parabola, you could see, again, like I said last week, I mean, this is looking like a parabola is forming, a blow off top, and a massive rally is still here to come. So I like what I'm seeing for Bitcoin on the monthly. It looks absolutely beautiful. No real stress on the monthly right now for Bitcoin. We look at the weekly, and what the weekly did is it made this beautiful support of resistance. It really said resistance, resistance. It got above it here, fell above it, and then it used this as really, really strong support at about $108,000. So Bitcoin bounced off 108, went to the mid 107s there, and then that was going to be its local low. Also, if you pull a Fibonacci from this wick to that wick there, you can see we bounced right into the 618 golden pocket, which is not a coincidence. That's when we retrace many, many times. What I'm looking at for Bitcoin now is to possibly make an ascending triangle. Very similar to what we just said on that daily last week, and we got it, the shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, right? So we're looking for this weekly to pump up a little more, close this weekly candle strong, have another green candle up to here, resistance, then have two red weeks, followed by consolidation and our breakout somewhere by late October or November. This could give altcoin some time to run, liquidity to come into the markets. We got the rate cuts coming, right? Don't forget about the rate cuts. And, right now they're sitting at about 95% chance, I think. Let's see here. 94.5% chance with a 5 with a double cut. I'm leaning towards we're going to get this double cut. But right now, one cut is basically guaranteed, and money is going to flow into the markets like you read about. So we're looking for this weekly candle to close right now, and then for our next weekly candle to close further to the upside. All you need right now on the macro is for the weekly to close above 114,000 right there. That's it. You get this close, that solidifies the support. Our next candle can continue to the upside to resistance at 119,000. Then you're going to start looking for a flag on the 4 hour or the 1 hour that could break us to the upside, and that's what we're doing right now. So I would watch your 4 hour time frame for a flag, which I'm doing in the trading group. And then this is going to take this macro further to the upside. So if you're really checking it out, you're going to be watching this right here. You're going to want to see the 4 hours stay above the 200 moving average with the 21 day. And you're going to want to see this plow to the upside. This is a very likely scenario that sends Bitcoin somewhere back to $119,500, $120,000 BTC. My prediction is this is what's going to happen. We're going to break out on the 4 hour time frame, and we're going to continue that move on the weekly to the upside. Let's take a look at the total market cap in all of cryptocurrency. That finally started its move to the upside too, off of the low bounce that we needed. It's making a giant rising wedge that would absolutely go parabolic. This means Solana would rip, AVAX would rip, Bitcoin rips, Cardano ripping. I mean, everything is going to rip your face off. Doge, anything that had anything to do with crypto. Now, what's interesting is Solana was just in this similar pattern. Made what could have been a right shoulder and then just got out of it. So there could be a right shoulder there, but it's likely more we consolidate and pump. So I'm bullish, and I'm bullish on this idea of it continuing. You look at the weekly's going to close very strong on total, which is the entire market cap of all these cryptos. This is a great sign here for more upside for BTC. And that's a bullish engulfing candle. All right. That thing could absolutely moon. So I love what I'm seeing here for Bitcoin. Starting to look absolutely beautiful. And I just expect this to close. And again, this is going to be the highest weekly candle in the history of total. Is that true, right? I think it may be. Yeah. Right there. So the crypto's never been this high. We've never had more institutional money in the total amount of crypto. You know, we've had it on a wick, but we won't close a weekly candle. This will be the highest weekly candle in the history of cryptocurrencies. So I look for this to get tighter and tighter. There is a bit of a resistance right here. We're kind of closing right above it. There is a resistance. I look for this to get tighter and tighter and then just continue on out to the upside. We have a black swan. This would make a right shoulder and we will dump. But it's more likely we're going to be pumping up here to $6 trillion. That's going to be a crazy, crazy market cap. So I'm more bullish here too as well based on the total market cap. And we've been tracking it every single week like a hawk. We take a look at total 3. That's the entire market cap of all the altcoins excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. This looks like it's going to rip to the upside. It's just poking out. One more big pump on this weekly. This weekly closes bullish engulfing. I mean, that thing's going to moon. So I see this mooning too, then making a flag, and then possibly continuing further to the upside. This is going to put the altcoins somewhere at maybe $2 trillion by April when the rally, I believe, will start to end, right? But this is what I'm looking at for the altcoins, that they go on basically a 4 or 5 month rally here and start to come back down somewhere in April. But let's get this first rally done. But this rally looks like it's coming. Moving averages look great. We're above the point of control. Everything in our way. The 3-day chart is just scooping and ready to push. And, you know, I just took this from here, and that's exactly what we could be doing and ripping back to the upside. I'm looking at $1.24 trillion on total 3. We take a look at Bitcoin dominance, and we want to see that continuing to fall because altcoins are in position. And look, we lost the 3-day 200 moving average. Bearish. We told you this was going to fall. We showed you the flags throughout. This 3-day chart's continuing to dump. I see it dumping and headed down. That's going to help altcoins and, you know, and on Solana, your big coins, they're going to pump hard when Bitcoin dominance continues to give way here, especially when you lose this double bottom. And so far, so good. We want to see Tether dominance doing the exact same thing. If we see that right now, then we know on the 3-day chart, we're set for alt season. Tether dominance is taking the dump to the downside. It was in a symmetrical. We told you mainly symmetrical triangles dump to the downside. That's looking like what we're seeing right now. Heck, Bitcoin was just one on the 1 minute and it's dumping, you know? And look at that, headed further to the downside. I see that going lower. It does have shoulder, head, right shoulder, but I feel like it made the right shoulder there and it already slumped over. Look for this to continue to dump. Tether dominance to the downside. I see shoulder, head, shoulder, shoulder. I see a complex head and shoulder here. That's about to do some serious dumpage. And then this whole thing is inside a descending triangle that wants to go lower. This is very, very good for altcoins and Bitcoin, and it's setting up for a massive altcoin season. Okay? So everything is going our way. Let's take a look at the DXY. The dollar should also be losing value over time because they're about to print more of it. And people are starting to know that. And so they're going to start to dump this thing. It's in a symmetrical triangle at the bottom with what looks to me like a head and shoulder pattern, right? Beginning to form. Look at that shoulder, head, right shoulder. Playing a little game right now, you know, and a little bit of strength for the dollar as we get, you know, tariff money in and stuff like that. But for the most part, I see it just maybe up and down a little bit, but then continuing further to the downside. So I see the dollar dumping and creating more value. And yeah, it's crazy because they got to cut the rates, put more money into circulation. But inflation is, I don't see inflation stopping, but I feel like they have to cut the rates to not look foolish. So they got to do fake stuff so they don't get blamed for the fact that they don't know what they're doing. You know what I mean? They're in a rock and a hard place. I put a tweet out about it yesterday. It's pretty spot on what they're doing over there on the Fed. So this is what I see on the 3-day chart, a nice dump to the downside. Another chart I like to look at is others.d. That is the crypto total market cap excluding the top 10. And it's basically the little altcoins. And you can see shoulder, head, shoulder, they're starting to get a bit of a move here. And they basically have bottomed and want to start pumping to the upside too as well. It's a very good sign that we're going to see big movement. And I also can see big movement in Bitcoin. We also take a look at gold every single week here. We told you gold was shooting up. We gave you this flag last week, the week before. We drew it when we started here. I said, watch gold consolidate for a while and then begin its pump. It's headed to the target at $3,800 an ounce. Congratulations if you took this trade. Gold absolutely ripping to the upside. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ, the nasty Nas. I called along on the NASDAQ in my trading group. I said it was going to break out of this flag to the upside and rip. So far, we got in somewhere here at 23.5, 23.7, and this thing has been ripping ever since. And it's following exactly the trajectory that I got. Again, back to the 3-day chart, my main chart. The Stokes are pointing up. We're ready for our move. I see this going kind of up and down, and eventually plying away. I see the 3-day chart headed all the way up to 27,000 to a new all-time high. And today, if you look at it, we're basically at a new all-time high for the NASDAQ, 24,090, right? That's the highest the NASDAQ has ever been in its life, I truly believe. We are at an all-time high for the NASDAQ, and I called it when everyone else was bearish, telling you we were going lower. I gave you the NASDAQ. Let's take a look at the S&P futures. Same story, morning glory. I told you it was going to break out. I even gave you the entry there at 6,484. You're up in the money now. You do what you want. Either raise the stop to break even, take profits, look for your next flag, or ride this puppy to 69.49. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say you should be taking as financial advice, but I just give perfect TA probabilities that play out very, very well. This is very likely going to happen based on the 21, the high volume nodes. I could see it was going to continue further to the upside. You look at your 3-day chart, and it has a little scoop, which means there's momentum here. There's a little bit of bearish div. It's hitting that area. I would suggest maybe some sideways price action, but the way they print this money, I don't see how the S&P isn't going to go to 69.49, right? And then other things I like to look at is just Sol BTC. Sol is beating up really big on Bitcoin, and that's a really good sign that we're going to have a massive alt season. It does look like it's going to cool off here as we're a little overbought on the 3-day chart, and then it's going to go on another massive rally. But look at the Adam and Eve. I just want to show you what the Adam and Eve is. It's when you have basically a triangle with a semicircle next to it. It breaks out like, I'd say 80% of the time, I'd say 90% of the time it breaks out. And it hits this measured move here. Just amazing. Sol is starting to rip huge. I gave the Sol charts in my trading group too as well. I'll just kind of show you the kind of stuff you get if you're in my Discord. I give you the stop loss. I give you the entry. I give you clear defined areas. This trade is ripping from 199 to 200. And we even started looking at it down there at 173. So Sol absolutely destroying it. I run a trading group up there, cryptolifer.com, if you want to find out more. If you like the technical analysis you just saw, watch my videos, come to my live stream. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you can find out when I post my next video. And remember, if you came to the channel, then you're already doing the right thing. Crypto is life.